Hello, everyone. Sorry this is so late. I was working on a house project today, and it took me a lot longer than I expected. And I know I said in Friday's video that I would have a video ready, so I just wanted to make sure I got it out there. I'm gonna combine this. I don't think it'll be too long. I had some trouble finding. There were some good setups that had earnings this week, and I'm not touching those. So you can scalp them. Um, Yeah, but I just don't want to. There's just too much that can happen that I just rather not play it. I'm too conservative a trader, and if I'm not willing to play it, I don't want to put it out there and tell other people. Not that I'm telling anybody to play anything, but um, you know, if I put something out there and somebody says, "Oh, you know, he had a good week last week, so I'm going to jump in whatever he says," I don't want to do that. Um, So just be careful this week with earnings. Next week also, it's not just this week. Um, keep your stops tight and remember that things can happen during earnings. But you just have to honor your stops. So let's start out with here's my watch list. I have the weeklies. I only have four on here. I have HD, Delta, Nvidia, XOP, and then the monthlies I have X, AA, GS, and WFC for different reasons. 2 month up on these two and inside months on these two. So let's take a look here. I'll start with HD. This will be inside week. Let's go to HD. Inside week, the month was a 2 up on the month, so we're looking good for going up in that direction. Earnings is August 17th, so we have a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks. So you should be out of these trades by then, especially the weekly trades. So looking at inside week, you're looking at entry above 331.88. Target one is going to be 333.45. Target two is going to be 345.69. And you can come down to the dailies. See where I got these targets. There's your entry. There's your first target. And if you go out to the weekly, you can see the second target way up here. So that's it for Home Depot. They have earnings in 2.5 weeks, so keep that in mind. There may be a push, maybe a run up to earnings. Let's watch for that. Delta, I'm looking more to the downside on Delta. You see the month, it was an ugly month. Not looking good. We did bounce here towards the end of the month, but it's just still not a good month. Earnings was 2 weeks ago. Expected was minus $1.38 and actual was minus $1.07. So they did actually do slightly better on earnings than they thought, but it just hasn't helped. You look at the weekly, it did bounce up here on the week. It's an inside candle, but it's kind of a shooter. So bearish, definitely bearish. So we're going to look at on Delta an entry below 39.75. Target one, go to the daily to see how I got the targets. Target one is 38.43. Target two is 37.56. So that's it for Delta. Nvidia, you remember they had a 4-to-1 split a few weeks ago. So they're much cheaper now. Makes it a little bit more manageable. Had a 2 up on the month, but it's red, so that's in conflict. It's still overall bullish, but it lost some strength there at the end of the month. Weekly, we had an inside week, and it was a green week. Still inside, but it did start pushing up towards the end of the week. It's not really a doji, not really a spinning top, but it is more of an indecision candle. But I'm looking for it to break back up to the upside and test these highs. So our trigger is 198.53, so above 198.53, Go to the daily. You see we have a target up here at 204.18. Another target at 205.33, and a third target is highs at 208.75. So that's it for NVIDIA. XOP, we're inside week on XOP also. Let's take a look at the monthly. Not looking good on the monthly. Yearly, it's 2 up, but it has pulled back a little bit. You see, lost a lot of ground here. It was up, $336 a couple, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Now we're down around $82, but take a look at the quarterly. Not looking great on the quarterly. Monthly, not looking great on the monthly. Weekly, or inside week. I'm kind of thinking maybe we might see a little bit of a bounce here. So let's take a look at triggers above 85.55. Go to the daily. We'll see what our targets here. Target 1 is 86.95. Target 2 is 87.75. Target 3 is 93.42. Above that, I would just bring your stops up tight, maybe a tight trailing stop, and ride it out. You'd have another target right here, about 94.14ish. Another one up here at 97.28, 98.76, and $100.20. Obviously, you're going to have mental, psychological levels there too. $100, 95. But right now, you see we're stuck inside this ugly mess. So we're going to look for a break above this to get out of that. I'd probably to be a little bit more conservative, look for a break above this one, 85.77. I think if we break 85.55, we'll probably break 85.77, but just watch for a break above 85.77, and then see where we go from there. So that was it for the weeklies. Let's look at the monthlies now. US Steel, you see daily, it's been killing it. Earnings is out of the way. The conference call's out of the way. Yearly, we're 2 up on the year, looking good on the year. Quarter, we're 2 down, but it's green and it's pushing back through. So quarter's looking, although it's in conflict, it's looking good. The month, got a hammer candle on the month, so that's definitely a good sign. So that's what we're looking for here, 2-2 on the month with a hammer candle. I don't know if that's by definition, if that's a strict hammer candle. True hammer candle, the wick, the tail has to be twice the size of the body. That's really close. So I don't know if it's an actual definition, and I'm not going to do the math. But either way, it's a bullish signal. It may not be a hammer, but it's a bullish signal. So let's see. If we can break this 26.67 for our entry. You come down and take a look and see the weekly. I got my targets on the daily. I don't really like using weekly targets because a lot can happen in a week. So I went down to the daily. See, our target was here, or our trigger was here. Our first target is 26.99, not a big move. But the second target, and I put this here, not that I really expect you to take profits at 26.99. It's only a 32-cent move. But once it breaks through 26.99, move your stops up. Be aware of this level. You get to this level and you start seeing some pullback. I would maybe bring your stops up to break even here. And if you get to this level and it starts coming back down, it's been rejected and the bears are in control. I would consider maybe moving my stops back up to break even, maybe slightly below, maybe like the top of this candle 26, or the top of the close of the candle 26.48. Maybe set the stop there. That way you do have a little bit of room, but it won't be much of a loss if it does stop you out. We are at the top of the broadening formation. I drew the broadening formation on a weekly, but this candle made one of the points on the broadening formation, so it can still go. Again, just be aware of this one. I wouldn't necessarily take profits right here, but I need to be, you need to be aware of this level. But once we break through that, look at this huge candle here, this huge red candle. Um, we should be able to see 28.54 if we can break this. There's not much in here. Sure, if you get down to the 60, you'll have some levels in here, I'm sure, but there's not going to be too many resistance points in here. So you shouldn't have much trouble getting up to target 2, which is 28.54, and then you have highs at 28.79. So that's what I'd look for on US Steel on X. Alcoa, we have 2-month up on Alcoa. Let's take a look at the year. Nice year so far for Alcoa. Inside quarter, but strong. We have a 2-2 with a hammer on the month. Similar situation to US Steel. Not much magnitude here to get to the June's high, but we kind of had a not a bearish hammer, a conflicting hammer. I'll call it a conflicting hammer for June. It was red. Technically not a hammer because it wasn't. The body was too long to make it 1/3 of the candle. This one here is definitely a hammer. So even by strict definition, it's a hammer. So let's look for a break above 40.66 for our entry. You look at the weekly chart. I didn't really put targets here because it's such a small move. That's not even a dollar move to that target. You come down to the daily. There wasn't much on the daily to even go off of. We have a target here at 41.15. It's only about a 50-cent move. The next target you could look at would be 41.71. That could possibly be a target. 42.27. But I'm looking for a move back up here. Let's see. Again, be aware of these levels. Just all you have to do is look at the daily chart, see the previous pivot highs. You had a pivot high here, a pivot high here, a pivot high here. I would be aware of those levels. But ultimately, I think good target is 44.42. So that's it for the 2-month up. Let's look at the inside month. We have Goldman Sachs on the year. Wow, crushing it on the year. So you do have to be aware of exhaustion risk. Quarter, still inside quarter. We're only 1 month into the quarter. I guess 1/3 of the way through it. On the month, we're inside month. I'll call this a Momo hammer, a momentum hammer. It's really not a hammer because it's not a downtrend. A true hammer, and plus this wick might be slightly too long to be considered a hammer, but a true hammer is the bottom of a downtrend, and we're not in the downtrend. So this isn't a true hammer by strict definition, but I'll call it a Momo hammer. And we had that's not a hammer because the wick's way too long, body's too small, but that's a bullish candle. This is still pretty bullish, even though it closed below its open. I'd still consider that bullish. So we're looking for a break above 385.33. Come down, look at the week. Looking good on the week. Looking good on the week here. And then the daily. Daily's not looking great, but you look at the week. We have on the month break above 385.33. Target 1 is going to be this high of 393.26. So have one more to look at here. Wells Fargo. Let's take a look at the year. Inside on the year, so that's not great. Inside on the quarter, but it's a little bit bullish. Inside on the month, but let's look for a break above 46.85. And target 1 is going to be, this could be target 1 here, the high of this candle, but let's just look at this. 47.46 for target 1, and then 48.13 for target 2. So that's all I have for this week. I'll label this as also being a monthly chart. I usually do them in 2 separate videos, but since it's so late, I just wanted to get it out there. Sorry about that. Like I said, I got involved in a house project. It took me longer than I thought, and I had a lot of charts to go through. There was a lot of inside charts to look through, and a lot of them had earnings, so I just canceled them right off my list, crossed them off my list. But I still had to go through. I probably went through 50 to 75 charts before I did this. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a good week, and see you guys later. Bye.